What up? I'm back, and IGN today showed off the combat portion of Sonic Frontiers. 2 days ago, they showed off the traversal, which I said doesn't really look great. It could be vastly improved, and it has its own set of problems. But overall, it can be improved in the 6 months that they have left to really develop this game. But really, I would say even 5 or 4 months, because you got to remember that they got to do shipping and they got to legalize. Yeah, there's a whole mess of things that really go into like this game development thing. So really, I don't even know how long they actually have left to work on the game. So it can't even. It's probably not even 6 months. But either way, aside from that, right? Okay, so IGN just showed off the gameplay again today. This time it was focusing on combat, and I will say right off the bat, it looks decent. It doesn't look extraordinary, right? It doesn't look anything crazy or anything like that. It looks okay. It doesn't look like I'm gonna have a bad time with it. It doesn't look like I'm gonna have a great time either. In fact, actually, it looks like you can have a great time with this, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna have a bad time. At least, right? That's the bare minimum, and that's kind of the problem, right? That's something that Tails' channel brought up. I was watching his stream, and he said the problem with just saying thank you for giving me the bare minimum, right, is that you're setting a standard, and setting a standard for the bare minimum, that's not good. That's not really good, right? Because then essentially what you're saying, you're okay with mediocrity as opposed to like great quality, right? And then, and that's why I think we should stop thanking them for the bare minimum. But I digress about that, right? Even though it is the bare minimum, it's better than what I expected, if you want me to be honest. I honestly didn't expect it to look too great, but it doesn't look anything crazy. It doesn't look too bad. Some things that I did like about it and that I didn't like. Let's go over the things that I liked. So the first thing that I liked was, I'm gonna go ahead and go straight to the boss. So the thing that I liked about the boss is because they showed off a boss in this game. First off, right off the bat, first thing I want to say, like side note, I do like the designs of the enemies, right? They look weird, but they're supposed to, right? They look uncanny, but they're completely supposed to, right? I like that. I do hope that there are regular badniks in this game again, just to make it feel like a Sonic game. If not, whatever. I do hope there are more enemies than what we've seen, right? Because they only showed off 3 enemy types, right? They showed off the big balls, the big balls in the sky, the dudes who shield themselves, which I actually like that there's enemies like that, where you have to use the spin cycle in order to really break their shield, because the reviewer, right, the person playing this demo really showed you that you can't hit them unless you use the spin cycle and you remove that shield. So that was cool. I like that. Or whatever. I like that there's variety in the enemies. There's small enemies that you can just take out in one hit. But then there's the big dudes with the balls around them, the dudes who shield themselves, and then there's the bosses. Really, they only showed off 3 enemy types and then a boss. I'm hoping there are more enemy types than that. If not, I'm just hoping that the game gets more difficult as time goes on, because a lot of this didn't look particularly crazy difficult. If it's gonna be difficult, it's gonna have to be in the control, right? And that's kind of what I was watching. I was like, how does this control, right? The entire time I was just thinking that. And somebody else apparently thought that in the comments. But like, yeah, how does this control? That's really what I'm asking myself. But yeah, things that I did like about it. I like the fact that Sonic has a ranged attack. I know some people thought that looked weird, but I like the fact that he has a ranged attack. I think every combat should have at least one attack where you can attack from far away. It makes sense. I don't dislike it. I think it's probably going to be fine. I just like the fact that it was included. Another thing that I liked, really, you can spin cycle more than one enemy. And I don't know if that's an upgrade or if that's just how you do it in the game or not. But yeah, you can do that to more than one enemy, which is nice. I don't know if there's a cap to how many enemies you can really do it to. There's probably like a meter or something that runs out the longer you use the spin cycle. Probably, I don't know. We don't really see the HUD, so we don't know. But I did like the boss. Now again, it didn't look particularly difficult, but again, all of this footage is apparently from the beginning of the game, so they're not gonna throw too much crazy at you, which I'm glad that they're not going to do that. Now, I do hope again that the game gets more difficult over time, but as of right now, it's looking decent. It's looking decent. The one thing that I didn't like about the boss, right, is the fact that the red things that push you back away from it whenever it attacks you. I like the okay. First, of all, I like the fact that there are more and more of those, and there are less blue rings that push you up the more you attack the boss, right? Very good. It's not too repetitive. One thing I did like is the fact that the red things only push you back. They don't damage you, right? And I would rather it damage me because it would give me more of an incentive to avoid those. Now, if it just pushes me, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm probably timed to get up there to the boss, right? And so even if I fail, it's fine. I'll just redo it again, right? It's not, I would rather it damage you is what I'm trying to say. But for the most part, I did like what I saw today. And I feel like it sold me more on the game, and some people said that it also sold them a little bit more on the game. However, still, it looks bare bones, bare minimum. Some animation jank, whatever. They can fix that in the amount of time that they have, I'm sure. But yeah, for the most part, I like what I saw. I guess that's what I'm trying to communicate here. But still, it looks bare minimum. But whatever. I didn't really expect the combat to be that great. As a matter of fact, it looked better than what I expected, if you want me to be honest. The traversal was really what I was mostly worried about. But now, it seems like the funnest part of this would probably be the combat, which is kind of sad. It's kind of sad to say that. Now I do know why Sonic runs a little slower, right? I saw him like fighting the enemies and whatnot, and I guess him having a really fast, not really fast, but a little bit of a faster run would probably disjoint you from fighting the enemies. But again, some people pointed out that there might actually just be a run button. So if there's a run button, then I say, yeah, it would make sense as to why, considering the fact that this game seems like it's going to be combat heavy. Not combat heavy, but it's going to have some combat in it. So it makes sense that there'd be a run button. And like, there's a disparity in like the movement, which, okay, but if that's the case, then I take back what I said about the speed. It still needs to be improved, right? I still think it should be a little faster if there is a run button. But for the most part, I'm satisfied with what I saw today. I'm hoping to see more. I think we'll see cyberspace next time because there's leaks, and again, the leaks have been pretty accurate. And I do hope that cyberspace is going to be shown next time. I want to see that because that's apparently the more traditional Sonic levels, and I'm very much anticipating that because on one hand, yeah, the movement doesn't look too great, but I do hope that the levels are actually pretty good, right? So we'll see. We'll find out maybe in 2 days, right? Because it seems like they're doing a 2-day cycle thing where tomorrow it's not really going to be shown anything, and then the day afterwards they're going to show us maybe cyberspace or something of that nature. So yeah, that's all I got to say. Let me know what you guys think. Did you like what you saw? Did you dislike it? Did you think he was in the middle? It seems like some people did like what they saw. Some of them didn't. Other people were like, oh, well, why didn't you just show us this instead? Right? Like, they could have just shown us this instead of the traversal. And I'm like, what do you mean? I want them to show me at least enough of the game for me to make an opinion out of it. It seems like some people just want you to think positively of the game, and they only want you to, like, I don't know. I feel like on one hand, this person was trying to say that, oh, well, this looks way better than what we saw, right? If I had seen this instead of what I saw yesterday, I would have been more sold. Which, yeah, I agree with that. But then at the same time, it feels like they're trying to say, no, if you only showed this, I would have been more sold on the game, and then less people would have been negative. I don't know. The reception for this has been so mixed and like weird, to be honest, man. And I've had some weird discourse in other people's comment sections for like a minute, to be honest with you. So yeah. But hope you guys enjoyed. Peace and take care of yourselves.